Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Battle of Gabiene and the Wars of the Diodochi. After the death of Alexander, his generals are fighting for supremacy in Asia. And on this occasion, Eumenes is going to attack Antigenes. And Antigenes knows he's got problems. This is prior to the battle. Antigenes knows he has problems because he's at war with Eumenes, and Eumenes has him outnumbered. So Antigenes has a problem, and he knows it. Now he can wait until the next spring and very foolishly just go up against the superior army. Like a frontal battle, but he's smart enough not to do that. So he launches the plan of a surprise attack, marching through that winter for an unexpected surprise attack, which may swing the advantage in his favor. Unfortunately, however, Eumenes finds the plan is exposed. Eumenes gets wind of it, and he's waiting for Antigenes when he arrives on the battlefield at Gabiene. And so Eumenes is eager for a victory, and he launches his attack. He's got the elephants. He's got his elephants advancing, thundering towards Antigenes' 22,000 men, his army. And he's got his cavalry off to the left, thundering forward for an attack. But what happens is you've got all these animals pounding across the plain, and it caused a big plume of dust to stir up and just cause like a screen across the landscape. And Antigenes was outnumbered, but he wasn't fool. He was paying attention, and he was one who understood that the battle doesn't always go to the great number, the biggest number. Many generals seem to think that the battle goes to the biggest number, but that's not always the case. In fact, quite often it's the opposite. If you have one who's makes shrewder moves, that can be more powerful than the bigger numbers. So in this case, Antigenes decided to seize the moment, seize the advantage when he saw this big cloud of dust, and he sent off his cavalry he used this screen of dust to send his cavalry out back around behind Eumenes' forces and attacked his baggage train. Now, this was a major move that Antigenes made. And in fact, Eumenes is attacking, unaware of what's going on with his baggage train behind. His cavalry is basically retreats, and then he sends in his elite silver shield infantry. These are Alexander's elite veterans, and they go in and they win the day over Antigenes, and thousands of Antigenes soldiers die, and ultimately it would appear that Eumenes has won the day. However, when they retreat for the night back to their camp, that's when Eumenes' soldiers and all the elite silver shield soldiers realize that the baggage train has been seized. Their baggage train has been seized when they didn't even realize it was in danger. And this is too much for them because the baggage train was their life. It was literally their families. This was their traveling homes. Their families have been seized by Antigenes and taken hostage. And so at this point, that's just too much. And they blame, obviously, Eumenes, and they betray him. They go behind his back and they plot and they seize him. They seize Eumenes and they turn him over to Antigenes. And the reason they do this is, they want to basically save themselves and their families rather than not. So that's the decision that they make. And because of that, obviously, Antigenes wins, even though he was outnumbered. Through a shrewd move, seizing the advantage, he wins the battle and he wins supremacy in Asia at that point. And so the lesson here, the lesson in history here is sometimes it looks like things are going badly, but there's always, in every adversity, we can look for a soft spot. We can don't always believe what's seen. Even the Bible says, believe not what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Okay, so we need to look beyond what is seen. And just as Antigenes couldn't see the baggage train back there, but he knew it was back there, and he certainly, if he was just looking straight ahead, he'd see defeat headed towards him, all these thundering elephants and a superior army thundering towards him. If he was just focused on what was right in front of him and what he could see, then he would be doomed. But he was also focused on finding the unseen advantage, which was back out of sight. And so he sees that advantage. Many times we face adversity, and it's frightening just to look at the circumstances. But we need to look for what is unseen. What is the unseen advantage? That's what we need to also be looking for, because there's always an unseen advantage. But we have to take the time to find it, and then we have to put in the effort to exploit it, take advantage of it, and seize upon it. So there you go. That's lessons in history. Fight on. God bless.